Guys, it's Quana back again with another review. Hope you guys are doing awesome. And I'm going to try to make this video quick. I'm not going to do a full-on recap because I definitely think that there are tons of people breaking down this show, giving you all the Easter eggs and everything. But I'm just going to give you my quick take about it without giving too many heavy spoilers. But you saw the thumbnail. We're here to talk about Agatha All Along. It is the spinoff from WandaVision, and it stars Kathryn Hahn, Locke, Sasheer, Zamata, Aubrey Plaza, Patti, LuPone, Debra Rupp. It is following the end of WandaVision. The character of Agatha Harkness is still trapped in Westview and without her powers. And the show follows her journey down the witch's path in order to retrieve her powers. But is there a greater evil lurking in the distance? That is what this show is all about. And it is so good. It feels like we're getting back to the MCU. And what I've always felt, their shows were so much better. I know some people did not like She-Hulk and they didn't love, well, nobody loved Secret Invasion. But I've always felt like the Netflix shows, with the exception of Iron Fist, because I felt ways about that, were always super, super strong. Their Hulu shows, their freeform shows, Cloak and Dagger, The Runaways, always well done. And this show is no exception. And there's no wonder why. It's because the show was written by Schaeffer, who also wrote for WandaVision. But not only that, she wrote one of my all-time absolute favorite independent romantic comedies, a little film called Timer, starring Emma Caulfield. When I get a chance, I am going to review that movie for this channel because it is one of my favorite independent movies, and especially for like a romantic comedy. It is so good. I don't want to get into synopsis of that later, of that here now, because this is about Agatha All Along. But Schaeffer is a good writer. And so my thoughts around this show already with episodes 1 and 2 are, while I don't want to give it 10s across the board, it's definitely a really strong start. And I would say a definite solid 8.5. And if I'm giving it a star rating, I would give it a solid 4 star rating, maybe 3.5, maybe 4, because it lays a good groundwork. And we meet back with Agatha. The first episode brings us back into the world of WandaVision, where each episode was based on an era of television. And this starts off this way because Agatha is still trapped in her mind. And spoilers for WandaVision, if you remember the final episode of WandaVision, after Wanda defeats Agatha, she traps her back in the identity that she had created as the nosy neighbor, Agnes. And so she traps her back in this identity, and that is where she has been for the last 3 years. But she is able to create her own delusions in her mind around her identity. When we meet her in episode 1, she's in a true crime and she's a detective, and it's very much styled after Kate Winslet's Mayor of Easttown. So smart. Westview, Easttown. It's so smart to have thought out that, and just the wave of how popular true crime has been, to follow that wave because it wasn't covered in WandaVision, and to bring that into here, so smart. And the tone of that first episode was great. I mean, cinematography, yes, but what I mean by the tone of it being great is the writing and the way that the writing feels weighty in that episode, where you feel as though, for a while, I forgot that Agatha was trapped in her mind. And I was like, is she a detective? Like, what is going on? Like, is this real? Because even the way that the trailer was cut, you didn't really know if maybe there was a reality when we were meeting Agatha prior to everything, because we only got that small glimpse of her identity before she encountered the energy field of Wanda and was drawn to that. So I was like, oh, maybe we're meeting her before this, or maybe there's like another entity out here that we're meeting that is like the twin or something like that. But we're still in, I will spoil that to say, we are still in Agatha's mind, or Agnes's mind, because it's Agnes is her identity within Westview. I love the fact that they were able to bring in most, if not all, of the major players from WandaVision who were in some way affiliated with her character. We've got her neighbor Herb, we've got Dottie, the librarian. We got all the same people with Emma Caulfield. I love her so much because I'm a true Buffy fan. And so the first episode to me was so good. Let's talk about some of the other supporting cast. Aubrey Plaza, I will say this about Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza is someone who I am not super fixated on in that I'm going to watch everything that she's in, but anything that I've ever watched with her in it, she was the strongest or one of the strongest parts of the project. Hands down. I have to give that to her. Now, I mean, she's not high up on my list of people that I probably will follow unless they do something magnetically, just humongously horrible. But if she's in it, and I see her, I'm gonna stop and look because she's good. And Joe Locke, I became a fan of because he's in Heartstoppers. He's so adorable in Heartstoppers. He plays a teenager so well, but I don't know how old he's supposed to be in this, but it's getting ready to be. This is going to be about the last role. I know Heartstoppers not done, but that baby's starting to get a little older, and you can see it in the press. It's about time for him to no longer have teen roles. So we're getting ready to wrap that bus on up. Sasheer Zamata, absolutely gorgeous. Every time I see her, she's so strong, gives such a strong presence. The best thing about this show are the callbacks to other properties that have done witches in some way, shape, or form. And so, like I said, I'll put some links down below of breakdown videos, but you've got everything from The Wizard of Oz to The Craft to The Crucible, just so many, True Blood. I saw some things that referenced True Blood, in my opinion. So many callbacks, but for me, the best was there is a fight sequence in the first episode that feels very much like the fight in The Craft, and I was like, Schaeffer is a woman after my own heart. I really appreciate that. The second episode kind of gets the band of characters together for the journey that they're about to take. So I'm kind of liking it to The Lord of the Rings. This is after Gandalf has brought all of the creatures into Frodo's little hovel, and they're meeting and they're planning to go on their journey. We see Agatha gathering some witches together to kind of create her own coven, her coven of chaos, so that they can go down the witch's path, so that they can try to retrieve her powers back. I do wish that they had found a way to give us a little bit more of those characters, but I also think because these characters have all existed in this delusion that Wanda created, and then by proxy, they've kind of been living with someone who's stuck in a delusion for 3 years and kind of just making her comfortable and playing along with it, that we'll get to know them more maybe along the way. So I'm interested to see how much character development the other characters will get as we get further and further into the season. This show is supposed to have 9 episodes. I love that we're getting this just in time for spooky season. I definitely think if you have been on the MCU fence and you have been deterred by more recent projects, this seems to be a project that some love and attention was given to. I think Kathryn Hahn is always amazing on screen, and so she has put some love and attention. I also think Schaeffer has handled this with a certain amount of grace. I think that this is the kind of show that is evidence that it can do well when, even if there's a vision, that the director is allowed to do and create the world that they envision. I also really liked Miss Marvel, so I felt like that was, people overlooked that as a coming of age show, but I felt like it was allowed to be mostly what it wanted to be. I think that they tried to tie it in a little bit too much to Captain Marvel too soon. But the parts of it that felt authentic to the character were done really nicely, and the parts of this that feel authentic to Agatha are done really, really nicely. Let me know down below if you have watched Agatha all along. If enough people want me to recap, I will recap this. But right now, I just wanted to say, get on board. gird your loins and start watching Agatha all along, because I think we're going to be in for a good one. If they stick the landing, it has the potential to be better than WandaVision, in my opinion. All right, guys, that's all for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Okay. All right. Toodles.